KJ Corder from down. National Park Nighthawks basketball is on XZero Sports, the next generation of Arkansas sports. We're here with the Coach Jason Hudnall, the National Park Nighthawk men. Coach, it was a tough loss. On the road, West Memphis, ASU Mid-South, one that you certainly wanted to get back, but the team moves forward. The train moves forward, and this week we've got a game with Arkansas Baptist College, a game that got kind of heated towards the end here in the Kettle, and should be kind of an interesting environment to play in and a tough game to play in. Tell me a little bit about the loss with ASU Mid-South first and some of the things the team has been working on to try to kind of get right after a loss like that.
Yeah, well, I was kind of hoping you'd forgotten about that one, Mark. But no, it's a tough loss. You know, we showed up. We knew that they're a very talented team. They're going to play for our region championship. I think they've got an excellent chance of advancing out of our region. And maybe even getting to the national tournament. They're a good team, but that's not an excuse. We just didn't show up ready to play, and really disappointed in some of the things we did and how we competed, and the lack of competition that we showed there in some certain spots, and just really didn't do some of the things that we had prepared to do. We kind of went a different route and went rogue a little bit on some things, but we've got a lot of that shored up. One of the good things about having had a longer week of practice, didn't have a game early in the week, so we were able to really get back into the gym and work on some of those little details that sometimes when you're in the middle of the season, you've got a game every other day, it's hard to get to. So we were able to do that, really stress a lot of those things and really emphasize what we're looking for. And we challenged them in the locker room that night that we'll find out Monday morning. When we show up for practice and how we practice, what we're made of. And I've really been proud of how the guys have come in, how we've worked these last few days, and I think we're ready to go Thursday night.
You know, it takes a lot of leadership to kind of right the ship after something like that, leading the charge back to victory. Who are you seeing maybe in practice that's really stepped up vocally to try to get these guys back on track and ready to go?
Yeah, I think, you know, our sophomores have done a pretty good job of doing that. Seth Duke's always been a good leader for us. Logan has stepped up and been vocal in a lot of ways. You know, KJ kind of leads in his own way. A lot of times he's a little bit gimpy, still has an ankle from Hendrick's game that he's not 100%. I think we could tell on that last week against Mid-South. Braylon's just a leader in the way that he works and the work ethic that he has there. One of the freshmen that's really stepped up, he's one of our captains, but Garrison Branscombe, really proud. Can't say enough good things about him and some of the leadership he's shown, both with his play on the floor, but then just some of the leadership and some of the little things that a lot of times maybe people won't notice, but I see it, and I see the leader he's becoming for this team, and really excited about having him next year as a sophomore as well.
Coach, what are you looking at ultimately to get back in the win column and defeat Arkansas Baptist College for the second time this season?
Hey, they're going to be athletic. They're going to want to run. They're going to be fast. We think we can score on them inside. We need to be a little more disciplined than what we showed against Mid-South. I think if we'll run our offense and play it at the speed we like to play, and be very disciplined in how we do that, getting back on defense, sprinting back, stopping the ball, just some of those little things that we'd gotten, that we just got away from against Mid-South. I feel really good about where we're at. It'll be a tough game in a really tough environment.
He's Coach Jason Hudnall, the National Park Nighthawk men. More on today's game coming up next. This is National Park Nighthawks basketball on XZeroSports.com. Live from Arkansas Baptist College in Little Rock, this is National Park Nighthawks basketball on XZero Sports, the next generation of Arkansas sports. Good evening, I'm Mark Oliver. Thank you for tuning into this presentation of Nighthawks Athletics on your home of the Nighthawks, XZerosports.com. Also on YouTube this evening. Tonight, the National Park Nighthawks look to avenge a road loss last week at ASU Mid-South and come into Little Rock to take on the Arkansas Baptist Buffaloes, a team that the Nighthawks defeated by 12 points earlier in the season, back in January on the 14th. They won that meeting 86-74. National Park comes into tonight's action 16-5 on the season, averaging 95.1 points per game. The Arkansas Baptist Buffaloes are 8-17 this year. They've won one game, one game in a row. They average 70.2 points per game. Be a big matchup here for the Nighthawks and the Buffaloes here as we introduce the starting lineups for your National Park Nighthawks tonight. Leading the way will be freshman number 15 Patrick Green, freshman number 0 Garrison Branscombe, freshman number 1 David Jaggers, sophomore number 24 Braylon Steen, and rounding out the starting five for the Nighthawks, sophomore number 2 Seth Duke. As the lights are dimmed here as we introduce the starting lineup for the Buffaloes, I'd like to remind you that tonight's broadcast audio only. We apologize, some technical difficulties, as sometimes on the road you never know what you'll get in terms of internet and streaming quality. So in order to bring you the best broadcast possible this evening, we've elected to go audio only. And we will be uploading the video for tonight's broadcast at a later date. So please stay tuned to XZero Sports on YouTube for footage from tonight's ball game. We apologize for any inconvenience. Our Nighthawk takeover for today's game, our honoree, Mr. Garrison Branscombe. He gets the start tonight. Coach Hudnall calls Garrison his captain of the freshmen, and you can see why if you've ever seen number 0 play. Has a great defensive intensity, pretty good on the offensive side of the board as well, and we're looking at big things from number 0, Garrison Branscombe. That interview coming up at halftime in tonight's broadcast. The stage is set for an electric showdown. The last these two teams met, fireworks all the way to the very end of the contest, and we're expecting nothing less